everybody. Let me know what you think of that intro. Just let me know if you like it or not. I would highly appreciate it. But today we got a story. And this story, like I said, well, it's interesting. And I think at the end, you might have an idea what happened. So it's time to slip into the mind of someone else. Let's go. Zeb Quinn was a regular, honest American man who deserved the circumstances of his disappearance to come to light. But no one saw anything that could help solve this case. Or did they? Now, Zeb worked at a Walmart in Asheville, North Carolina, and on January 2nd in the year 2000, he finished his late shift, and his friend Robert Owens met him in the parking lot. Now, at this moment, Zeb had his eyes on a car that he wanted to buy badly, which was a Mitsubishi Eclipse. So, knowing this, they both headed in the direction to take a look at it. And it is to note that they both each left in their own cars. Now, from there, the friends were caught on a security camera at about 9:15 at a gas station to buy snacks and, some sodas. And then after a couple minutes, they both were seen driving away towards Long Shoals Road. Now, as they're approaching the T.C. Robertson High School, Zeb kind of, flashed his lights over to Robert, which was the signal for them to pull over. And he told him that he received an important page and that he needed to use his phone for a minute. Anybody that was alive in the year 2000 knows what a pager is. And if you don't, it's basically this little device about this big that would beep. And whenever it beeped, it would show you a number that you needed to call. So Zeb, he got out of his car, walked away, and then returned about 10 minutes later. And when he returned, he seemed very agitated and upset. And also apologized to Robert and said that he couldn't look for cars anymore, right now at least, because at this time something came up. So Robert supposedly just said, okay, and then Zeb drove away. But after this, Zeb disappeared. And a few hours later, Robert was admitted to the hospital and treated for a head injury and broken ribs. Plus, he said he was in a car accident. Now, even though he said this, there was no accident that was reported or filed to the police with reference to Robert Owens. So, now this is where things get weird. 2 days after Zeb's disappearance, Robert Owens called Walmart, pretending to be Zeb to tell them that he was going to take a sick leave. But the employee who took the call happened to be a friend of Zeb and could tell over the phone that it wasn't Zeb. So Robert was soon exposed as the caller. And then, later on, when Robert was being questioned, he stated that Zeb asked him to call the store and ask for a sick day in his name. But when questioned deeper about this and the disappearance of Zeb, Robert would only say that he had nothing to do with it. And then he refused to cooperate any further past that point. Now, I kind of like to read body language as a side hobby, but I'm sure even you probably know that this behavior would portray definitely that he is hiding something. Now, what that something was, only one could guess. But I'll let you tell me in the comments what you think he was hiding. Now, at this time also, Zeb's mother reported him missing the next day after he disappeared. And the case became even more difficult when others were questioned, believe it or not. Plus, at the time, Zeb was seeing a girl called Misty, who also had a violent boyfriend at the time. So, I don't know about you, but I see motive, whether it's Robert Owens or Misty and Misty's boyfriend, which soon you'll see what I mean. But of course, when the police questioned Misty and her boyfriend, they denied having anything to do at all with his disappearance. Now, when the police finally checked the page that Zeb got when he had to step away and make that 10-minute phone call that left him angry and in distress, it was discovered that that call was made from his aunt's house, and his aunt was named Ina Ustik. But the strange thing here is that she denied ever making that call, and she said that her friend, along with her friend's daughter and her daughter's boyfriend, were there and witnessed that she actually did not make the call at all. But in actual reality, her witnesses were Misty and her violent boyfriend, and Misty's mother, who was Ina's friend, named Tamra. Now, fast forwarding 2 weeks into the future after Zeb's disappearance, his car was located in front of the hospital where his mother worked, and inside of it was a little Labrador puppy, and a pair of lips were drawn on the back windshield of the car. All this was very odd. Plus, the police also found a key card from a hotel, but they were not able to trace down from what hotel that it belonged to. And they also found several bottles from here and a jacket that did not belong to Zeb. And all of this information, believe it or not, brought no new leads or suspects. So, Zeb's mother believes the car was left there on purpose by someone who knew where she worked. And at this point, the police, as well as Zeb's family, suspected Misty and her boyfriend, along with Zeb's aunt Ina, to be involved in the disappearance altogether. Now, what I'm trying to figure out is what the motive might have been. I mean, maybe a little bit of context, a little more context, and I feel like we could actually solve this one. And the fact is that no evidence was found to support these claims, so the case still lies open to this day, 20 years later, with no arrests. But to be honest, when I say what could the motive have been, I mean, individually, I see a motive from Robert, right? He got injured and was the last person to see him. Misty is a woman that he was seeing, and she had a violent boyfriend. So I don't know why Zeb was seeing someone that had a boyfriend. Maybe he didn't know, or maybe he did. But so it could have been Misty and the boyfriend, or particularly the boyfriend. But the aunt is where I get confused. Now, I do get that Tamra was Misty's mother, but it's just kind of crazy that, you know, Zeb's aunt, Misty's mother, Misty, and her boyfriend all would somehow go to kill Zeb, who was, you know, related obviously to his aunt. And, you know, why would his girlfriend have negative feelings toward him unless they were in a fight or something like that? So that kind of only leaves Misty's boyfriend. And it's like, could he really have convinced Misty, Zeb's aunt, and Misty's mother to all conspire in this plan to kill Zeb? I don't know about you, but that seems extremely far-fetched. Here is what I actually think happened. Now, as we move on, you got to remember Zeb's friend Robert was never charged for the crime. Well, at least for this case. But he, however, did spend 23 months in prison for other various crimes. Now, for me, this is kind of like the icing on the cake to who did it. Because, like I said, the killer has still never been caught. If there was a killer, which, you know, I believe there was. But to maybe sprinkle a little bit of clarity on this case, in 2015, Robert Owens was arrested for multiple murders. And as of now, it's believed that he is responsible for the disappearance of a couple that hired him to do construction work on their home. So this has led many to believe as well that he is also responsible for the disappearance or possible murder of Zeb Quinn. I mean, in the end, Robert had to go to the hospital that night for many injuries, and he was the last one to see Zeb before he disappeared. But, you know, I'm curious to know what y'all think happened. So let me know in the comments right now. I will read them, and I will let you know if I think it's a good theory or not. I can't wait to read them and see what you guys come up with. So enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up. But more importantly, if you enjoyed this, click on a video either here, 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 or here, and just continue slipping into the mind of someone else.